We're going to start with a breathing exercise today. So coming to a comfortable seated position, sitting nice and tall, so you can let the shoulders fall away from the ears and just bring the attention to the breathing. And then see if you can allow that breath to lengthen out, not so much by forcing it, but just allowing it to be. And then we're just going to count the next 4 breaths, slow inhales and exhales, breathing in and out through the nose. So for the next 4 breaths, we're going to inhale and then hold that breath in for 2 or 3 seconds and then exhale, and we'll do 4 of those. Good, then we'll return to inhaling and exhaling without any holding of the breath. And for the following 4 breaths, we're going to hold after the exhale, which might feel a bit less familiar. So a slow breath in, a slow breath out, and then holding for 2 or 3 seconds, and 4 breaths like that. Then 4 more breaths of inhaling and exhaling without any holding. And then finally we'll take 4 breaths where we hold after the inhales and the exhales as well. And then when you've done with those 4 breaths, just coming back to your slow, steady breath, staying nice and focused. And we want to try and stay this focused on the breath as we come up to standing and get ready for our sun salutation. So standing tall, we'll inhale, raise the hands, take a nice stretch up, and then exhale, fold forwards into a nice hamstring stretch. Inhale, lift and unfurl that spine, and then exhale, step back to your chaturanga-dandasana, elbows in. Inhale, scoop forward for your upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog for 5 breaths. As you inhale, bring those feet to the hands and lengthen out the spine, and exhale, fold. Then inhale, come all the way up, taking a lovely stretch up high. You can touch the hands together or not, and then exhale to standing. Good, next one. Let's inhale, raise the hands up, and exhale, fold forwards. My dog's come to say hello. Let's inhale, lift and lengthen through the spine, and exhale to chaturanga-dandasana, elbows in. Inhale, scoop forward, upward facing dog, and exhale to downward facing dog. 5 breaths. So keep those hands planted into the mat with the fingers spread out wide and a nice long spine. Tummy pulling in, Uddiyana Bandha, so the belly button lifts up towards the spine. And we really want to try and lengthen out. If it feels good to take some wiggles in these downward facing dogs, you can do that. You can pedal the heels, bending the knees, wiggling through the hips or the shoulders or the head of the neck, whatever feels good. Should feel like a lovely pose once you've built the strength. So again, inhale, step. You might jump the feet up to the hands and lengthen out that spine, and then exhale, fold. Inhale, come up, stretch the hands high, and exhale to standing. Brilliant. Next one then. Inhale, raise the hands. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen through the spine, and exhale, step or jump to your chaturanga-dandasana. Try and hold the body off the mat nice and strong. Inhale, everything comes forward for this upward facing dog, and then exhale to your downward facing dog. So let's lift the right leg, hold it out straight. So you can spread the toes of that lifted foot. Keep that tummy pulled in. So with this leg up here, you might feel a bit more weight in the arms and the shoulders. So that might be a little bit of a challenge, or otherwise it might just feel like a really nice stretch. Keep that breathing nice and slow and steady with as much focus as we had at the beginning. Then we can inhale, stepping lightly on the mat, bring those feet to the hands, and then exhale, fold. Inhale, draw yourself up, find the tallest stretch you can, and exhale to standing. Brilliant. 4th one then. Inhale, raise the hands. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen out that spine, and exhale to chaturanga-dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. And now we have the option of raising the left leg up. Hold it out straight, lift it as high as the mobility at that hip joint will permit. Spread the toes if you can. Lengthen the spine, pull the tummy in. Keep that nice placement of the hands with the fingers spread wide. Slow, steady breathing. And then inhale, bring the feet to the hands and lengthen the spine, and exhale, fold. Inhale, come up, stretching the hands up high, and exhale to standing. Great, so let's just do one more of these. Inhale, raise the hands. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift and lengthen, and exhale to chaturanga-dandasana. Inhale as you draw that chest through the upper arms for upward facing dog, and exhale for downward facing dog. 5 breaths here. So a lot of you will be very, very familiar with these sun salutations, but mindfulness means that we can always find something new. So keep your attention focused on what you feel, what's going on in the body. Maybe you can feel the fingertips in touch with the floor, any little sensations through the arms and the shoulders. You can feel the breath, the tummy muscles drawing in, the stretch in the legs. So all of our postures in yoga offer us something to rest our attention on, physical sensations, which keep us in the present moment, and that's one of the reasons why yoga is so relaxing. Let's inhale, feet to hands, lengthen the spine, and exhale, fold. Inhale, coming all the way up, stretch these hands up high, and exhale to standing. Good job, well done. We'll move right along to Surya Namaskar B. So bending the knees, inhale, come to chair pose, and then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen through the spine, and exhale to Chaturanga-Dandasana. Inhale, scoop forward to that little back bend, upward facing dog, and exhale to downward facing dog. Then stepping as lightly as we can, we bring that right foot forward, place the left heel and reach the hands up. And it's exhale to come back to Chaturanga-Dandasana, and inhale to upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog, and then inhale, stepping the left foot forward, drop the right heel and reach those hands up. Exhale to Chaturanga-Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog, and see if you can roll over your toes to get to downward facing dog. Then we've got our 5 breaths here. So feel free to modify the length of that downward facing dog as I just did there. So often when we land in our down dog, it's a little bit of a long stance. It might just be that we need to step the feet forwards a tiny little bit to get the right shape for us. If the heels already touch the floor, you can have a longer stance to bring them away from the floor, or if they're a long way away from the floor, then have a shorter stance. So with the inhale, we could step or jump the feet to the hands, lengthen that spine. Exhale, take a nice deep fold here, and then bend your knees and sweep the arms up so we're back in chair pose, and exhale, straighten. Second one, inhale, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Don't be lazy on these, keep working into those hamstring stretch. Inhale, lift and lengthen, and then exhale, step or jump to Chaturanga-Dandasana. Inhale, draw forward for upward facing dog, and exhale over the toes to down dog. Then inhale, right foot forward, left foot flat, warrior, and exhale, Chaturanga-Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, we'll step the left foot forward, place the right heel, reach the hands up, and exhale, come back to Chaturanga-Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. Whether you raise those hands out in front of you or to the side makes no difference really, and you'll see that I like to mix it up just to get some slightly different movements through the shoulders as we move through the sun salutation. So once again, we're in our down dog, slow steady breathing here, tummy pulled in, stretching out through the arms and the legs, and finding a nice long flat spine. If you've got the setup, it might be fun to video yourself doing this sequence so that you can check things like the straightness of your back and the placement of the hands and the feet. Inhale to chair pose here, and exhale to standing. Alright, third one, inhale, chair pose. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift and lengthen, and exhale, Chaturanga-Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. We're trying to make all these movements very smooth. Coming into warrior with the right foot forwards, and then exhale, coming back to Chaturanga-Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. Then we'll step forward with the left foot. Right heel presses down, stay low as you can through the hips as you reach up with the hands, and then exhale back to Chaturanga-Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. And now we'll raise that right leg. We'll allow the hip to roll up and open a little bit towards the sky. Bend the knee, drop the foot over. So keep the tummy pulled in to keep everything nice and strong in the mid-body. We don't want anything to collapse there. And we want to really lengthen. So visualise drawing the pelvis away from the rib cage, so the waist lengthens. I love this posture. We inhale, bring the feet to the hands, lengthen the spine, and exhale, fold forward. Then bend the knee. Inhale, lift up the hands, back to chair pose, and exhale, straighten up. Brilliant. Next one. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Lovely hamstring stretch here. Inhale, lift and lengthen, and exhale, Chaturanga-Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. Carefully stepping forwards with that right foot. Plant the left heel and reach up. All of that on an inhale. Exhale, Chaturanga-Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And then inhale, stepping the left foot forward, right foot flat. Reach up as you lunge down, and exhale, chaturanga-dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. And then we can raise that left leg up. Turn the hips a little bit so the left hip is pointing up and the right hip tucking under, bending the knee, dropping the foot over behind us. And we end up looking out underneath that left arm. Slow, steady breathing. And then with an inhale, bring the feet to the hands, lengthen the spine, and exhale, fold. Bend the knee. Inhale, lift the hands, and exhale, straighten it. Good. Last one then. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, long back. Exhale, chaturanga-dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, step the right foot forward, place the left heel and reach the hands up high. Exhale, come back to chaturanga-dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. Then inhale, left foot forward, right foot flat, warrior. And exhale, chaturanga-dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog for 5 breaths. Trying to keep the neck in line with the upper arms here. So you can just sort of think about the ears being beside the biceps. The gaze is sort of towards the toes. And then with an inhale, feet to hands, halfway up, long back, and exhale, fold. Bend the knees, inhale, lift up the hands, and exhale, straighten. Well done. Let's come to a standing forward bend then, so we can take a nice stretch up first of all, and then tilt the pelvis over, hip bones folding forwards, and just find that hamstring stretch. If you come that far down, you can take a hold of the big toes. You might even need to pull a little bit with those arms to find that hamstring stretch. That just depends how flexible you are, how long you've been practicing yoga. But all we want really is that feeling of a stretch in the hamstring. So just go wherever you need to go to find that, and keep focused on the breath. So for the second one of these, we're just going to try and slide the hands underneath the feet. Now you might need to bend the knees a bit and get lower in order to do that. Really try and thread the whole of the hand underneath and get a stretch at the back of the wrist. Let the head fall down as well. Whenever we do a forward bend, there's a tendency to kind of look up and fling the head back. I don't really know why that is. So we just have to be very conscious about letting the back of the neck lengthen. Slow, steady breathing. Now you might stay here in these standing forward bends, or you might have a little play with Bird of Paradise. So this is the bind and the standing leg balance. So you'd be threading your left arm through the gap, passing it around behind the left waist, and then reaching around with the right hand. See if you can make that bind, and then perhaps standing up and extending the legs. So this is an advanced pose. Only have a little play with it if you want to. Might feel good to take a little wiggle through the shoulders before trying that on the other side. Threading the right hand through and underneath the leg, catching the hands behind the back, and then seeing whether you might bring that posture into a tall standing version and maybe extend the leg. Okay, so if you didn't bother with those, no worries. We'll just begin to roll ourselves up to standing, and then we'll just come to tree pose. So with the weight on the right foot, we'll just turn the left knee out to the side and find that external rotation of the hip. So the toes might stay on the floor, the foot might touch the calf muscle or the thigh muscle. And we're just trying to stand as tall as we can. Now you can press the hands together into a kind of prayer pose in the centre of the chest, or you can raise the hands up as I'm doing here. Entirely up to you. Try and keep the tummy nice and strong and still. That will really help with the balance, as we'll strengthen the legs as well. So that's one of the things we build here. Okay, so let's take that foot out of position and see if we can extend that leg just out in front of us, and we can push the palms out as well. It's a bit of a challenging balance, this one. And then when you're ready, just come down. So we'll bring the weight onto the left foot now and bring the right foot into the tree pose position, whichever one you choose. Either raising the hands up or bringing them into prayer pose in the centre of the chest. So standing tall, pulling the tummy in, slow, steady breathing. And then pushing the arms out and pushing that right leg out in front of you as well. So trying to hold that leg up as high as you can is quite hardcore on the muscles at the top front of the thigh, but give it a go. Well done. Okay, so talking about painful legs, we're going to come to our goddess squats. So bending the elbows to the heights of the shoulders and flexing the wrists. We're going to bend the knees and come down into as low a squat as we can. And don't come all the way up, don't straighten the legs. We're just going from a squat to a lower squat 5 times. And then when you've done the 5th one, just stay in your goddess pose for 3 more breaths. Brilliant. So make your way up. You're going to come into triangle here, so let's turn that right toe out, left foot in slightly, and we're just going to lean over to the right side with the right hand sliding down the leg and the left hand reaching it, lengthening the side body. You could look up to that top hand tap. From here we'll come up into warrior B, so holding the arms out parallel with the floor and just dropping into a lunge. Now you might need to have a slightly wider stance for that, so feel free to shuffle the feet a little wider apart. Drop as low as you can here to continue working those thigh muscles and really stretching through the arms. Should feel quite nice. You can come into our side stretch, so just bringing that right elbow to rest on top of the thigh and then sweeping that left arm overhead. So we've got a really lovely stretch and lengthen along the left side of the body. Slow, steady breathing. And then use an inhale to bring you back up. We'll just point the feet the other way, ready to take these postures on the other side. So the left foot onto the midline and the right foot slightly turned in. Right hand reaching high and the left hand just sliding down the leg. And don't forget, you can work a little harder if you just take that left hand off the leg so you're not propping yourself up. You're holding yourself there using the strength of the body. Brilliant. From here, warrior B, dropping into that lunge. Now, if the knee comes forward of the ankle, that is a sign that you need to take a longer stance. So just slide that back foot further away. So we want to drop quite low in here, so we're doing some work. And again, if you've been doing these postures for a while, there is a possibility of getting a little bit lazy. So we always want to check how hard we're working. Side stretch then. Left elbow onto the thigh, right arm to the diagonal. Slow, steady breathing. Pull the tummy in. Okay, good stuff. So from here, let's just make our way into a downward facing dog. And then we're going to inhale and raise that right leg up. And as you exhale, touch the tricep, right, and left. And then inhale, extend the leg up. And exhale to downward facing dog. So left leg, inhale up, and then exhale, touch the left, and the right tricep. And then inhale, extend that leg back, and exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Again, inhale, right leg up, exhale, touch right, and left tricep. And then inhale, extend, and exhale to downward facing dog. Left leg, inhale up, exhale, touch left, right, left and right tricep, and inhale back up, exhale downward facing dog. So one more set, inhale right leg up, exhale tricep touches, inhale send it back up, and exhale downward facing dog. And then once more with the left leg, inhale up and exhale tricep touches. Brilliant, good stuff. Okay, so from downward facing dog, let's jump to the hands, and then we'll just come to a standing split, so with the weight on the right foot. So that left leg lifts into the air. Now you could walk those hands as far forward as they want to go, so it looks a little bit more like a three-legged dog. That's totally fine. Slow, steady breathing, trying to lengthen everything out. And then from here we can come into our Halfmoon Balance. So with the right hand and the right foot on the floor and the left arm reaching up. And we're trying to rotate that upper body to face out to the side, as well as that left hip lifting up to face out to the side. So revolving version then, we'll just bring that left hand down and raise the right hand up. So keep the same leg lifted. And we're just turning to the other side. Quite challenging on the standing leg, this one. Good stuff. So we can make our way back to a downward facing dog. Take a few little wiggles here. And then we'll do the same again on the other side. So jumping to the hands. And then with the weight on the left leg, we're just extending that right leg into the air. So just seeing how much movement we can find. That's a nice stretch in the hamstring. Try not to round the back. And we can open into our Halfmoon Balance with the left hand and the left foot on the floor. The right hip turns up. The right hand reaches up. Slow, steady breathing. And then we can come to that revolving version. So just bringing the right hand down and lifting the left hand up, looking out to the left side. Keep lifting that leg though. Good stuff. Well done. So just having a little wiggle in a standing forward bend. And then we'll have another go at the Halfmoon Balance, but this time with a variation. So standing on the right leg, we're lifting the left leg, bending the knee this time, and see if you can find the big toe to hold on to. Kicking the foot into the hand and turning out to the side. So it's quite a lovely stretch, this one, if you can find the foot to hold on to. So we can just try that on the other side. So standing on the left foot, we're lifting the right leg up. And then seeing if you can find the big toe with the right hand. And then once you've got it, you can just kick into that hand and really open into the stretch. It feels delicious. Slow, steady breathing. And we can make our way back to a standing forward bend, and then turn the toes out slightly and come down into a squat. So we want those elbows in front of the shins, palms together, and that can just help us draw the chest forward and find our way into a kind of taller sitting position. If this is very difficult, have the feet wider apart. Alright, let's make our way into a downward facing dog. We've got our plank challenge. It's 7 breaths. So coming into your side plank, first of all. So remember, you're welcome to do this on the elbow rather than the straight arm. That can be kinder to the wrist. So if the wrist is a little bit fed up of bearing a lot of weight, then take this pose on the elbow. If you're not yet able to stack the feet, then that top foot can just step out slightly in front of the other one. Okay, so we'll transition to middle plank for 7 breaths. you push the hands really hard into the floor here, you can work up into the shoulders. So there's a kind of lift in the body across the backs of the shoulders. So you're doing more work there. You might kind of see that my upper back is sort of lifted here. And then we can move into our side plank on the other side. Good stuff. All right, let's make our way back to downward facing dog. And then we're going to step our right foot forward with the sit flat and have the left leg extending out behind us. Now I want to drop as low as we can into this posture, and hopefully you'll feel a stretch over the left hip, so the muscles that run in front of the hip bone there. So drop as much as you can and have that leg right out behind you. Now if you want to increase this sensation, you could bend the knee and take hold of the foot with that left hand and just pull it in towards the bottom, but stay nice and low through the hips. So that will bring the stretch a bit more into the quad, the muscle on the front of the thigh. And then if you want to, we could have a go at sliding the right foot forward to come towards a hanumanasana. Now if you can't come all the way down, that's totally fine, because you can take the weight on the hands and be really quite high up in this posture. So you can just choose exactly how much hamstring and how much quad stretch you want to feel. You need flexibility in both to come down into your hanumanasana. So from here, let's make our way back into a downward facing dog and just take any little wiggles that feel good. And then we'll step that left foot forward. Make sure the heel is on the floor, so we want that foot completely flat. And the knee can drop right forward. We can lay the ribcage against that upper leg, and then the right leg extends back. Dropping through the hips, we find that hip flexor stretch. And then if you want to, bending that right knee, taking hold of the foot with the right hand and just squeezing it in until you feel as much stretch as you want to feel. And then again, if you want to, you can move towards a hanumanasana, sliding the left foot forward and the right knee backwards. Okay, good stuff. So let's make our way back to a downward facing dog, and we'll hop forwards and come into cobbler's pose or baddha-konasana. So that's an external rotation at both hips, soles of the feet together. And just see where the hands want to come. They might be on the shins, the ankles, the arches of the feet, or the toes. Now some people like to come forwards a little bit and poke their elbows in against the calf muscles as I'm doing here, which can press the knees a little wider apart. So you can see if that feels nice. Slow, steady breathing. And then we'll just shift those feet forwards a little bit. They're still touching together. And we can just have a little go at folding forward. So notice any slightly different sensations that this position gives you from the last one. So my hips feel slightly different with the feet further forward in this diamond shape than they did back towards my body in the cobbler's pose. Enjoy the forward fold. And then from here we can just make our way into a wide leg seated forward bend. So only come as far forward as you want to. And if you need to stay sitting up in this posture, that's fine. Slow, steady breathing. And head coming back, say hello. Good stuff. And then we can cross the ankles and roll over them to step ourselves back into a downward facing dog. And then we'll come down to a kneeling position, and there's a few options here. So if sitting on your feet like this brings a decent stretch, then stay there. But another option is to have the feet a little wider and sit down in between them. So you could keep straight arms here and lift the chest, or you could come onto the elbows and lift the chest, or you could lay all the way back. So just see what's going to work for you. So if you've laid all the way back, you might be able to just pop your feet out to come into back bend position. But if not, just make your way up and down again, ready for back bend. So a few versions here. Gentler version, just lifting the hips. You might bring the hands underneath the rib cage, you might not. So we could come down and give the knees a little hug. Now you could do the same again, or if you want a little bit more of a back bend, walk those shoulders closer into the heels and hold on to the ankles or to the heels with the hands. So that's just going to bring a little bit more of an arch into the back bend. Hug the knees in again as a counter pose. Another option will be wheel preparation. So the hands are this time between the ears and the shoulders. And we press it, but we keep the head, top of the head on the floor, and just see how that feels. And then hugging the knees in for another little counter posture. If you want to do the full wheel, again placing the hands between the ears and the shoulders and carefully pressing all the way up. Good stuff. So let's make our way out, take a little hug. And then we can come into an inversion here. So you might keep the spine on the floor and just float the feet up in the air. Or if you like to take a shoulder stand, then roll the hips away from the mat and walk the hands down the back in the direction of the shoulder blades. So we're really trying to pop ourselves up into a vertical position with the shoulders tucked underneath and the elbows as close to one another as they can be. It's not a posture I find terribly easy. I'm always trying to get those elbows closer in towards one another. So you can come over into Plow Pose here, dropping the feet over behind you. You could clasp the hands and send them down to the mat, which almost kind of forces the shoulders into the right position. So you get the shoulders really nicely tucked into you there. And then it does feel a little bit better for me anyway to step back up into the shoulder stand. I feel like I'm in slightly more the right position if I come into Plow first. But from Plow, you might bend the knees, hug them around the ears. You could bring the hands to the feet for a sort of gentler version. And then whenever you're ready, you can just begin to make your way out. So take a passive twist with the knees to the right side and the upper body to the left. So don't force this twist, you don't have to turn the body too far away. Ready in your own time, just find this twist on the other side. It might feel nice to rest the hand on top of the knee. And then whenever you're ready, making your way out and into Shavasana. So any posture that you're going to feel comfortable in, it might be flat, arms and legs away from the midline. You might prefer to keep the knees bent, feet flat on the floor and the lower part of the back snuggling down into the ground. Or you could turn on your side or on your tummy. And once you've settled in nice and comfortably, you might choose to return to the breathing pattern we did at the beginning today. Or Or you might count the breaths perhaps in groups of 5 with your full attention, noticing any time the mind wanders and just gently starting again at breath number 1 if that happens. And in the stillness of Shavasana there can be more capacity for the mind to wander and for us to get swept away onto rivers of thought. But the work that we're doing is just to try and stay focused on the present moment. And whether that's the breathing pattern or just counting the physical sensations of the body, whatever you choose, just using those little anchors to keep you here in the present moment, just for the last few minutes that we have together. And when you feel ready, just allow movement to come into the extremities of the limbs and then along the lengths of the limbs and into that axis of the body. And taking plenty of time, make your way to a seated position. You might roll over onto one side and then push yourself up. You might rock up and down along your spine, whatever feels nice. And with the inhale, raise up the hands for one last stretch. And exhale, bring them down into the centre of the chest. We'll finish with a 10-finger gratitude. So it's just tapping each pair of fingers together. And with each tap, naming something you're grateful for today. So coming up with 5 things. And then when you're done, bowing forwards to close your practice.